Hello there, everybody. WhatCulture Wrestling's Adam Cleary here, back from a fourth news video of the day, Phil.
Exciting!
Fourth news video of the day, and I'm not saying this place would completely fall apart without me, but I am thinking that extremely loudly. Coming up for you today, what have we got? We've got all the news about why you should never have got your hopes up, about Heyman and Bischoff getting control of the company.
An update on a possible NXT TV deal.
Some thrilling news for big nerds like me who like wrestling video games. But first... First take that.
That was good, wasn't it? So a line from old Melty D in the Wrestling Observer.
Oh yeah, we probably should say before you start, the only reason we weren't planning on doing it, hashtag good after news today, but we
then
are.
the Observer
The Observer's
happened,
come out,
yeah.
He's managed to stop arguing with teenagers on the internet for long enough to get an Observer out while we were still in
and
the
all
office.
this news show is anyway is just saying what Meltzer said.
According
so
to the
here we
comments
are.
it is, yeah. So all of this is from the Observer, just take that as read. Anyway, good. Yeah.
So, there is a report that a certain Luke Harper might be back on the road with WWE.
I remember him, Phil.
Yeah. Imagine. What
Big
we
guy,
think.
dungarees, looks a bit like you.
Yes, I will read out the quote from the Observer. It says there is a report that Harper is going back on the road. If that is the case, it is a secret since key people in the company don't know, nor do those close to him say that he's heard a thing. He's pretty much been told nothing since the decision was made to use him in early April and when Vince didn't like his match with Dominik Dijakovic.
Right.
So he's going back on the road, but nobody's told him or people close to him.
So the official line in the Observer is that he's going back on the road, but he doesn't know it.
He doesn't know, his
Nobody in
friends
the company,
don't know it.
Right.
And Vince didn't like his last match, so that's why he was taken off the road.
But Big Dave knows it.
But Big Dave knows it.
Right,
so
that's
it's gonna
good news
happen.
though, isn't it, if it's true? Because
I
obviously...
really want this to happen. I'm
Yeah.
a huge fan of Luke Harper. I think he's been missed off TV. I think he's just incredibly underused. He's a hell of a talent.
And he's had an awful time of it lately because he asked for his release, he wasn't granted it. Then they put him in the Andre Battle Royal and he was somehow held responsible for missing a spot that clearly wasn't.
He was one of those people that you just thought, they'll probably just give him the release.
Yeah.
They've literally done nothing for so long. And then they were like, oh no, we can't be doing that. And here he
It's a
is.
shame because he is still, his age is not exactly on his side at the minute, but he's still
No,
got a
he's
good
getting
few
on.
years.
He can still go as well. He's a hell of a wrestler, a hell of an in-ring talent.
You've been a big fan of him, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Why?
Beards, I guess.
It's
just drawn to the
a
beard.
weird thing. There's not really too much to go off on that. Obviously, we'll keep you updated on it as and when we get more information. But it would be lovely. Fingers crossed. It would be lovely to see Luke Harper getting a bit more of action, even if it is just house shows and whatnot. He's clearly a guy who loves to wrestle. So just let him.
He's God.
Let him wrestle, yeah. And in other news about people just being allowed to do what we thought they should be allowed to do. Do you remember how we got so excited, Phil? Didn't we?
We were all very excited. How many videos did we make about how excited we were?
We did about 100 of them. They've hired Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff as executive directors of Raw and SmackDown. And they're going to fix everything because Vince has taken a step back because he realises he's writing bad stuff and it's all for this audience of one. So
new creative, fix all the problems.
New creative ideas and people who've got not exactly their fingers on the pulse, but certainly more finger-looking things on things that feel a bit more like pulses, but... No, apparently not. Apparently Bischoff, at least his role with the company is not. It's not going to be anything like that because he ended up having no influence whatsoever on SmackDown this past week. And this is Dave. Right now, those in creative were told that he will most likely not be involved with the creative process, and that it looks like his job will be to interface with all of the departments in the company as well as work with Fox. So he is to be a sort of leader on the SmackDown side of things, but just for none of the elements that actually require any
kind of
leadership.
A leader crossed with a runner, it sounds like.
Yeah, Michael Hamflett did put this idea to us that maybe this whole Fox deal was a terrible idea and they were going to regret it as soon as they got into WWE once they saw that the ratings were going down and the overall approval ratings were going down, and maybe Bischoff's job was just to charm them, was to be something of a snake oil salesman. But
quite possibly.
Hamflett's suggestion was he just goes to Fox and say, no, we curtain off these areas of the arena for sound reasons, for the acoustics, you see. So this is...
It's just Vince hiding behind someone else that he can push in Fox's face, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so from the sounds of it, he's not really going to be as involved with creative as we thought he was going to be. Certainly not going to be taking the lead on any of this. And instead, he's kind of just going to be the face that the company deals with, that like people go through for a lot of things. No actual real power in all this, just the one that people moan to and the one that get... Kind of like me. He's basically getting my job, isn't he? So he's just...
It's a bit of a weird one, though, because like everyone was so excited about just having some, new person in that might shake things up a little bit. But I guess like Bischoff's history, like he's had a hell of a history in dealing with TV through WCW, Impact, and then he had his own production company, didn't he, where he made all the reality TV shows. He did that Hulk Hogan Championship Wrestling thing. That was Good.
It was something.
He's got a lot of history of dealing with TV channels and brokering deals and things like that. So maybe that's what they're after, not necessarily the creative side of things.
Well, we'll find out, won't we? Obviously, the Heyman side of this is we don't know precisely what these roles are going to be. Clearly, the term executive director is very, very loose within WWE, and it's basically going to be whatever Vince decides that it's going to be week on week. So that's possibly bad news. I mean, everybody got way too carried away with the level of change that was going to come in.
There was a lot of excitement.
So by the same token, we shouldn't get too disheartened by the level of not change that's coming. There have been gradual improvements on television. We know things are going to change massively when they go on to Fox.
I was just going to say, when it does go to Fox, you know there's going to be some big shake-ups and some big changes.
Regardless of who's pulling what strings, it's going to be...
They have to.
Yeah, they have to. They absolutely have to. So we'll see. We will wait and see as the months roll by precisely how these things differ. I suspect we'll know as we watch it. Speaking of watching it...
Speaking of TV deals as well, look at this. I'm just going to go with the direct quote from Mel TD. So, Wrestling Observer News. Fox is in talks about getting NXT onto television.
Fox, right, yes, sorry.
While not said, I can definitely see NXT on FS1 head-to-head with AEW. It's kind of a no-lose situation for WWE. If the ratings are close with an NXT on a weaker platform, it's a blow to AEW. And if NXT does slightly better, yes, they did beat WWE, but again are on a stronger station, and they only beat the developmental brand. Meltzer writes really weird. Plus, if it siphons a few viewers from AEW, even 10%, it accomplishes the goal.
This is the thing, right? I can understand that from the perspective of WWE's main roster will want AEW to be competing with a wrestling product, and whatever audience it can take is good.
Yep.
AEW, if they get any kind of victory over WWE, is certainly hollow because it is only the developmental brand. I see this from both sides of that story. However, the third side of the story is, what about NXT?
Yeah, like, what happens then?
Will the product there suffer if they're just kind of shoehorned into another option slot on another channel?
It depends how much input the channel wants. Like, if they've seen what NXT TV is as it is and they say, we want that, just that, as it is, then I think they'll be okay. They'll keep going. But will it turn into a 2-hour show? Like, the roster is probably deep enough and definitely strong enough to hold a 2-hour show, but then that'll hurt creative. How does it work when building to takeovers, when there's only 5 matches on takeovers? So if it's only those people, like, does everyone else kind of get pushed by the wayside because they're not the ones that are going to be leading to the takeovers?
Do they make takeovers 10 matches long now, and then,
or do they have a takeover a month?
Oh Jesus!
Let's hope not.
But this is the thing, right? None of these things really inspire you with loads of confidence from NXT's perspective. What they've got in WWE at the minute is sort of the perfect developmental brand. Then the audience who watches the takeovers versus the audience who watches the weekly TV show, there is a huge disparity. A lot of people purely watch the big event matches, but still, you kind of get away with that because there's so little television. They only really do how many minutes do you reckon go into building every single NXT feud?
Yeah, not a huge amount.
Probably an hour tops, realistically, compared to like in WWE on the main roster when you've got hours and hours of television time.
Which is why the creative can be that much better, because they don't need as much of it. There's no filler.
Do you think they would make a big dent in AEW with NXT?
I don't know. Like, NXT has a very, very loyal fan base, but it's how big that fan base is when it comes to like a mainstream TV audience, which is the same questions that we've been asking about AEW though. And look at what they've done so far.
I kind of think that's a really old-fashioned way of looking at it. Like, if you want to take audience off AEW, let's put on a show at the exact same time. The vast majority of people will not be watching AEW like the time it's on. And
what happens to NXT on the network? Do they still put the repeats on the network? Which means people would just probably wait to watch it on that. I know I probably would.
I mean, if NXT's not available on the network, I'd say the cost of the network drastic goes down.
NXT's pretty much the only thing I watch on the network. That and like the 24s and 24s and things.
It's such a weird... I don't get why they think that would dent it.
Yeah.
We're meant to be getting AEW live here on ITV4? ITV2?
ITV Sport?
ITV Sport, whichever one that's going to end up being, and I don't think they're going to start booking NXT episodes for 4 AM in the UK, so it's just such an old-fashioned way of trying to hurt your competitor's television show. Boo!
It's the only way they know. It's the only way they know.
I hate that idea. Don't do that. If you want to put it on television, give it its own slot where people can watch it properly, or just leave it on the network because it's fine there. What's the last one? Oh, this is good news. This one's finally good news. Right, speaking of old-fashioned, seamless links every time, by the way. Speaking of old-fashioned, Phil, you agree with me, don't you? And indeed everybody else. Every other right-thinking nerd on the planet. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain was the best wrestling video game ever.
100%.
Wasn't it?
Yep. Absolutely.
So, how would you feel if maybe maybe they remade it.
I would be excited.
Now, again, you shouldn't get too carried away with this because Yukes game designer supervisor Brian Williams has literally just done a little bit of a minge teasing tweet on this. Nothing's been officially announced, but we do know.
A little tickle.
We do know that 2K are going to be doing sort of a side project to 2K20. There's going to be an offshoot of it involving other developers. We do know that. So he's tweeted, right, just to get you properly all like moist and juicy and everything. He said that him and his colleagues, his co-workers, had held a 6-hour meeting today, and then basically just said, we played a lot of SmackDown, here comes the pain. Now,
there you go.
While that does sound like a day in the working office of WhatCulture Towers, they actually have reason for doing that because they are going to be building games, and remakes are big business, man. Resident Evil 2 came out last year. How long does it get around playing it? Might have been the start of this year, and that has been a huge success.
Yeah.
Huge success for Capcom. The remake market is massive. Final Fantasy VII remake is coming very, very soon, and
people have been aching to get back to the sort of old school wrestling games.
They have as well. The main criticism of every 2K game is it's not the SmackDown games from when we were younger. So if they remade it, especially given the roster SmackDown's got at the minute, or you can even just bring back the old rosters and whatnot, you just overlay, do a nice graphical overlay and put in a big story mode and a big career mode and a big creator wrestler mode. It would be
sort of arcadey kind of gameplay as well, rather than the sort of realistic based things now.
That's the thing, when they try and make it so sporty and so athletic, and you've got to lie down for 10 minutes while you recover your stamina. No! Just let me build up my finisher bar and do loads and loads of them. That'd be really good. Again, don't want to get carried away here. This is literally just a developer doing a bit of a teasy tweet about this, but logically, if they're going to do an offshoot product for 2K this year,
it's got to be different to 2K.
That makes the world of sense. Unless it's going to be some terrible mobile game, isn't it? It's going to be like Bejeweled for wrestling,
but with cards or something.
Yeah. So we'll keep you informed on that.
If it does happen, bring back the Twitch Championship. It's been a while.
Still the reigning and defending, I might say. Do you want to do the Twitter questions?
I will do the Twitter questions. Let me find the Twitter questions. Okay, so the first one comes from Mail. Just Mail.
Anonymous Mail 1. To Mr. and Mrs. Mail 1, a son, Anonymous.
There it is. With news of Balor being granted time off and TV time at a premium for an overflowing roster, do you think WWE should now cycle people on and off TV and house shows to give them a rest during the year and keep the product fresh?
Yes. That's a no-brainer, that one. They've got so many good wrestlers, people could easily just have 9 months on, 3 months off every single year.
Yeah.
It would help with injuries. Tell you what it would do. It would go a long way to addressing the whole healthcare thing. I imagine you get a lot fewer people asking for healthcare if they weren't having to work 12 months of the year. Just a bit of time
to just rest up. Better creative as well, because you just book those 9 months in theory.
Yeah, you can write storylines.
And that's your story. You've got a beginning, you've got a middle, you've got your end, and then you reset it when they come back.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I still think you should have an off season.
Yeah,
I still think you should have a good 4 to 6 weeks every year where they're not wrestling.
Never gonna happen.
Thing is though, right? Hear me out on this one. Hear me out, right? If you had a main roster off season, so let's just say it's a month long. So you do 11 months on the main roster, then you've got this month where it's the off season. So that's when you do your random banter legend matches. You have like one pay-per-view in the middle of that where it's like that's where you do Goldberg Undertaker.
Yeah.
And you just do these returning stars or developmental stars, or you do like random tournaments. You could film tournaments during the year and broadcast them during that month. It'd be dead easy.
Yeah.
That's where you have your Mae Young Classics or your Cruiserweight Classics. That's how I do it. See, it's just easy to book WWE. I've always said this.
Okay, next up from Aaron Long.
Mr. and Mrs. Long, so that's normal.
No, yeah, that's just normal. What current talent would you have a returning star give the rub to at Raw Reunion?
Oh.
He would love to see side-by-side stunners on McMahon's with Austin and Owens.
I could see
them enjoying a beer afterwards.
I could see them doing that, although obviously you've got to apparently remind the McMahons how to take stunners.
After
all these years.
And then you know that Stone Cold's stunnering Owens directly afterwards.
Oh god, yeah, because that's
share a beer, kick the stunner, spit in the air.
I would like Samoa Joe to murder someone.
To murder someone?
Yeah.
Anyone in particular?
No, just someone who would be really uncomfortable to watch him beat up because, like, they're a bit frail anyway. Can I say Ric Flair?
You can say
I mean, they used to
put
put Batista, but we didn't get to see him beat him up.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd like to see Samoa Joe put Ric Flair into Coquina Clutch. I'd like that. Nice. Yourself?
I would like to see.
Oh, I take that back. That's awful now that I've said it.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awful. That'd finish him off.
Who do I want to see? Bray Wyatt take out Kane just for the giggles.
his mask could fall off again.
Yep.
That'd be really
goes
funny.
flying.
Oh my god. We're not really talking about young and up-and-coming talent here, are we? Nice to get a returning Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens on the ascent of popularity, I guess, and Samoa Joe murdering an old man.
Ricochet against someone. I was trying to think of someone old who did high flying.
Ricochet decking Kevin Nash. I just think that'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Just Kevin Nash doing that thing where he holds his head back and then Ricochet just doing a crazy flip and kicking him in the face.
I'd like that, yes.
And finally, Nicholas Combs says, when Shane gets written off TV for good, there should be a massive beatdown on him. Who should be involved?
Easy, this one. Literally everyone. Actually, for poetic reasons, every single name that Kevin Owens mentioned in his "You're taking TV time away from" speech.
That would be
every
nice.
single
That would
one
be
of them.
nice.
So that's Liv Morgan, Ali. I've forgotten all the rest of them. I remember they're the last two. He's literally running out, mumbling in the microphone as he says those two. I've forgotten all the rest. But all the good ones. All the good SmackDown stars.
Every face. Literally every single face do their finish on.
Yeah, we've done this at shows. You just throw them out of the ring. Yeah, keep them off television for ages and ages and ages, please. Thank you very much. Is that all we've got?
That's everything.
That's all we've got time for from us effectively just reading out the Observer back to you. Aren't you lucky? If you've got any questions for either tomorrow morning or the hashtag Good Afternoons in the afternoons, you can get them to us at WhatCulture WWE, hashtag This Is The News or hashtag Good Afternoons. We just pick them for either one. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
but using them both makes us feel important. Where can they get you on Twitter, Phil?
They can get me at Fill My Chambers.
That's good. They can get me at Adam Cleary,
CLREAIE.
Thank you very much. Yes, let us know what you made of all these stories in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And in the meantime, though, thank you so much for watching. We've been Adam and Phil.
Yay!
And we'll see you soon. Bye.